Lauren, thank you. Take a look at the 10 teams here in our final heat. CrossFit Jeunesse was a podium team in 2021, although did not make it to the games last year as some individuals went to the individual division. CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, they were a podium team in 2021 and 2022. Mads, are they the champion in 2023?
I think they could very well be. I think they're going to be challenged all the way by some very capable teams out there, but yes, they are the favorites to be so.
Fourth and final heat begins as Eivind Dalleringard leads the way for Oslo Navy Blue. Right in the middle of the floor in lane 6, navy blue tops and red bottoms. They're next to the team in black and gold. That is No Shortcuts CrossFit. And this may be the single best quote of anybody coming into semifinals. We spoke to their captain, Andre Houdet. And Mads, he said, we're a rookie team. Nobody is putting any pressure on us. We're not on the radar. We'd like to be the dark horse. And he is the only person who thinks that.
I know, every time that we have talked about these teams leading up to this, we've said, let's just keep an eye on No Shortcuts. Because these guys, this is a competitive team. Lots of experience, lots of great athletes. And then they look at themselves as rookies. I think that is interesting. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, Andre, but here's what's going to happen. We will be keeping an eye on you throughout this entire competition in every single solitary test.
Andre Houdet is on the double unders on the left of your screen. Dalleringard is on the double unders on the right. Leona Richter is on the sandbag hold for Navy Blue, and you have Julian Kromoshvitz on the sandbag hold for No Shortcuts. You talked about how you structure who goes where when. You put somebody who has their weakest movement on that movement early.
Well, let's just say I would do that. I would make sure that you get to do what you feel you're the weakest at when you are the freshest, and then you just conserve some energy as you go through. Because as we've talked about before, everybody needs to complete their task before the team is allowed to move on to the worm. And so if you're waiting for somebody who's fatigued too early and then make it onto something they're not as capable of, then you're going to find yourself waiting longer than you want to.
Oslo Navy Blue on the right side of your screen. Take a look on the back of Leona Richter's uniform here. We're 2 minutes into this competition, and if you want to know the biggest difference for Oslo Navy Blue from last year to this year, it's that word right there. Krieger Training, Kristen Holta is that team's official coach this season. They'd always kind of consulted with her in the past, but she has taken a much more dedicated role in helping them reach the top of the podium here in 2023.
And, I mean, one of the things that you need to remember as well is, yes, she does that, has a host of experience in competition, but also Krieger as a platform, as a coaching program, is a consortium of a lot of experience. She's not the only one.
I will say this, too. Krieger Training was not the only suitor for Oslo Navy Blue this past offseason. There were other training programs that wanted them in the mix. They bear the Norwegian flag here in 2023.
Well, and they do so with pride. I can't imagine other programs to be bidding for it as well. Being like, you know what, you're decent. We could probably make you really awesome. How about you join us? I like that they stuck with what they know works, which is a great, great, great team. They took some in-house competence that is world-class, by the way. It's not like somebody just showed up and goes, hey, I'm great, and then developed from that. I really like that. But look at this. All these teams coming out pretty much at the same time.
That's wild, Mads. It's been one team ahead of the pack the first 3 heats, but half the field just moved in sync.
Yep.
That's almost like somebody just opened the Brandenburg Gate and everyone walked through.
Well, that has happened.
Several times.
So on the left side of your screen, that is Trondheim, another one of these Norwegian teams just out there crushing it. On the right side of your screen, you've got, well, everybody else chasing them right now.
Just a multitude of games experience. From the top of your screen down, CrossFit Porti, the Finnish team, was in Madison last year. You mentioned Trondheim. We talked about Jeunesse. No Shortcuts, obviously a rookie team, but tons of game experience, and it is Trondheim that advances that worm on to round 2 first.
They did look very comfortable on the worm. So here we got Oslo Navy Blue advancing the worm, running back. And I love to see that. The entire team running back, understanding that these transitions are important. In third place right now, you've got the walleye team also running back. Now you've got Prestanda running back. It's just, these teams all know that in order to be in contention, you need to hustle.
Trondheim on the left side of your screen. That is Matilda Garns' home gym. She, of course, now trains at Oslo. But the foundation laid by one of the great Norwegian CrossFitters at the moment. And it's a very different roster than the team that went to the games last year and finished 29th. Only Var Thurman Moe returns, but a great start to their first 5 minutes at semifinals. Just easy looking double unders from Richter as she takes a break on the right for Navy Blue.
And also on the right side of your screen, you got Sam Stewart, you got Joshua Wichtrup on the sandbag hold for the walleye team. Just so happy to see Sam out here as a part of a team as well.
It's an interesting dichotomy between the teams that are flanking Oslo Navy Blue. You have a super team with Andre Houdet we talked about in lane 5, and then you talked about Sam Stewart in lane 7. You've got some super teams that are challenging what is a true affiliate team. Everybody that is competing for Oslo Navy Blue in lane 6 went to CrossFit Oslo, started CrossFit, came up through the system. They are a homegrown team, and if they were to win the Affiliate Cup, Mads, would be the first truly like homegrown affiliate team. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think dating back to Invictus in 2014.
I think you're right. I think we do have to go all the way back to then, just based on both the rule book, but also because things were different back then. But yeah, it would. So we're starting to see a little bit of challenge right here. This is the 1,000-meter stair. This is the pain face. I'm just going to start giving these different names, but no, but this is Nikolai Bilodal. And this is the, I can hold on for a while if you want me to. I think we're good.
This is right in the wheelhouse of Julian Kromoschwitz. He hasn't even started.
It looks more like bothered. It's like, you can just keep going. I'm good. Or
he would like Rogue to wheel out the heavier sandbag as they did at the games last year.
Looking at his judge, I'm holding on to the right sandbag, am I right?
Nikolai Bilodal was trying to get those double unders speeding. And now he has his rhythm.
Yep. Funny to see the different techniques and approaches, because if you look at Joshua Wichtrup on the right side just a second ago, he was a lot more relaxed, but didn't stop. Nikolai Bilodal going really, really fast, but he's had a couple of stops so far.
Lena Richter looks almost at peace holding the sandbag.
She does, but she needs to be really, really recognizant of those knees. I mean, there's a little bit of a bend to him right now, and if she bends a little bit further, that judge is going to tell her. You can tell he's got his eyes on him right now.
Oh, and look at the bag slipping, and it does drop in time. All good there for Jorgen Skevik. And now we'll go to the worm clean and jerks. Trondheim was the first to begin round 2, and they may be the first to end it as well.
I think they've extended their lead, yeah. The answer is yes, they have.
We said that Var Thurman Moe is the only returner from this team that qualified for the games last year. Var is second in line right now. They're an interesting group. They were put together by their coaches and include Tobias Opdahl, who lives 1,100 kilometers away, a 2-hour flight. They really have to get together and plan when it comes to training.
Okay, so now we're starting to see a bunch of different teams. So if you look at the middle of your screen right now, you're going to start seeing teams that go touch and go on these clean and jerks. We have not seen anybody do that in the past. Question is that going to burn too much energy when they get back to the run or the eco bike?
The old CrossFit adage, Just because you can doesn't mean you should, and we'll see how pacing plays off in the back half of this test.
That being said, I would not imagine No Shortcuts CrossFit to do anything like that without having tested it in training, knowing exactly what they're doing. And what it allows them to do is catch up with Trondheim.
Some might say there are no shortcuts, Mads.
Some could. Andre Houdet would tell you that.
Figured we'd get the pun out of the way on day one. The worldwide time to beat, and again, that bears no impact on the competition today, but it's just the best time in any semifinal. 19:15 by East Nashville proven.
And so interestingly enough, so first place right now, we still have Trondheim, followed closely by second, No Shortcuts. So they're firing it up for that. So here we go. So if you look at the right side of your screen right now, they're up. Oh, that does not look good. Nikolai Biludal's back is not in a good place. This is interesting. I hope this is just temporary, but oh, this could be a big thing. You see him right now, middle of your screen, having a bit of chat, and I think Nikolai Biludal's lower back is not doing super hot.
And I think he still has to hold the sandbag again in the next round.
I think you're right.
But Ingrid Hodenmere, the two ladies for Oslo Navy Blue look like they've been holding sandbags their whole lives.
I don't know what they haven't been doing their entire lives. It's just like amazing athletes. Is there anything that they can't do?
Mads, you've talked about different ways to grip the interlocking fingers. Ingrid's got a vice on that thing.
Well, she does. And also, generally speaking, I'd say she's holding it a bit low, but at the same time, there you go. So there you go. Picks it up just a little bit. If she can hold on there, squeeze in between her shoulder blades, get a little bit of a tilt backwards, she is going to be fine.
Back over to No Shortcuts. Julie Hogard Nielsen and Ninki van Overveld are the two women there. Var Thurman Moe is double undering for Trondheim in the lead right now.
So the fight is between Trondheim. Well, it's for Trondheim right now to hold on to actually that first place. But I mean, they're getting, it's hard work. I mean, they're getting challenged left, right, and center. We also had both the Walleye and Prestanda team come back right next to each other as well.
And this is an incredible start for Trondheim based on the fact, remember we told you Tobias Opdahl lives a 2-hour flight away. When they train, they really have to plan. They also had some family things arise that have made it hard to schedule training sessions together, and they've had things to deal with outside the gym that they didn't want to go into too much. And we respect that side of it, but it makes planning it so difficult. And the thought process coming in, what we were told is, listen, we haven't tested everything. We're kind of going to go and show up and see what happens. And oh boy, we're 12 minutes in, but this is a good start and it puts you in the right mental place.
It does, and I mean, it is sometimes that's exactly what you need. You get to a point where you're just going over small points and you're just working too hard on them instead of just going in there and getting work done, because at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. So look right now at the runners. This is what we've been talking about before. Teams that are going to be comfortable on the runners are typically going to do very, very well. What you're looking for right now is relaxed shoulders, chest up, and a pretty fast cadence on the foot. So Hannah Carlson right here, middle of your screen, she's doing a great job of doing exactly that. Bigger athlete using the assault runner to her advantage, but that is exactly what you need to do. Get your chest up and just keep going. So here we go, No Shortcuts. Coming out side by side with Trondheim. Remember, No Shortcuts went touch and go on the last set of clean and jerks on the worm.
Their captain, Andre Houdet, in front, and they're taking a second, and you can see watching Trondheim, so they're pacing themselves off the field right now. And again, No Shortcuts, touch and go.
Wow. This is a huge differentiator. If they can hold on to that and maintain the pace that they had in mind, that is awesome. In third place now on the floor as well, next to these guys, you have the Prestanda team. CrossFit Prestanda, Victor Longsved, who had a bit of trouble last year on the Nordic team and didn't get to go to the games, collected another team, and it is an awesome team at that. But look at No Shortcuts, middle of your screen, jogging back. The worm is the decider.
No Shortcuts, back in first place. And we talked about Nikolai Miladel with his back maybe acting up on him. Here he is having to hold that sandbag again, and Navy Blue has fallen way off pace.
Oh man, I am suffering with Nikolai right now. He's such a powerful athlete. That should really not be a problem to him, which means that something is off. Yeah.
Well, it was on enough for Navy Blue to now advance to the worm, as Trondheim is now moving in second place, but Oslo Navy Blue is in 8th in the heat after that.
And the team of rookies that nobody had heard about before, No Shortcuts, are in the lead.
Well, no one's talking about them. They're very, underrated.
They're completely anonymous.
Oslo Navy Blue.
Yeah, something is definitely off. They're not doing good. God, I hope it's not the end of the weekend.
And I think Nikolai just looked at Even van Ringdal and said, hey, I think we might need to switch at some point.
Yeah.
Or Ringgaard, sorry.
Yeah, this is not the team that we usually see. This is...
They're midway through on only their 3rd round of clean and jerks. And the facial expression on Richter on the back of that worm, I think, speaks 1,000 words.
Yeah, it does. And you know that Nikolai right now, the only thing he wants to do is ignore the pain, keep going. For whatever it is he's feeling right now, I'm just assuming that it's pain. All he wants to do is that and contribute to his team. But, you know, some things just can't be ignored. No Shortcuts. Andre Hodea. If Adrian Bosman was looking for whoever was not bothered by the sandbag hold, this is your man, Andre Hodea.
Also, can we just talk about what an absolute beast Nanke van Imperveld is? She has been to every CrossFit Games since 2018, and she comes into this team off the back of having experiences on so many others. She was with the Surbiton team in the UK. She was with Zarus Training Culture only last year. This is a woman who has a huge amount of experience of walking into teams and making them work, regardless of the country she's in. She's actually moved into the apartment with Andre Houdet, I believe. So he's basically living on the side of the gym, but she's a little bit nomadic, but she really makes it work.
Yeah, Lauren, Andre has an apartment built on the side of his house, which is also attached to the gym, so literally never has to leave home to work out and train every day for No Shortcuts. And Nanke van Overveld, Mads, was not even the first choice. There was a list that Andre Houdet had built together. The first woman that he called outside of Julie Hogard Nielsen said, I can't commit to it, but you need to call this Nanke.
Yep.
They didn't know each other. Andre said, I called her, she was in, that was it, we were done, great fit, it's worked out perfectly.
Obviously works out perfectly. I mean, it's not just that she as an individual contributes with athleticism, she works in that team.
And the belt is going on. Nanke's like a team's assassin for hire.
But we did talk about Swiss Army knives. This is like, I don't know, Swiss Army machine. It's just, it is anything you need. If you need a moving part in your team to make it work, there you go. Who are you gonna call?
The Ghostbusters.
This is true.
19:15 is the overall best time in any heat of any semifinal. I don't think No Shortcuts is going to best that. But what they most certainly, I believe, will do is have the best time at this semifinal.
It was 2013.
It's
so
coming up
far
quick
from heat number 2.
Boy, Butcher Slap Fleck. If No Shortcuts doesn't hurry up though here, this is a long break, is going to throw down the gauntlet early on day 1.
Yep. Love that they're in heat number 2. Just go out there, do your thing. You'll find yourself in contention.
That Rotherham jump rope is getting dangerously close to our judge's head, though, for No Shortcuts. We'd like to thank FitAid EU for fueling our athletes and fans with their recovery drinks, and us, Mads, all weekend long.
Well, thank you very much to FitAid. I'm enjoying myself a little bit more, just because of that.
There's a couple behind us, if you...
And in front of us as well.
Vartherman Mo has been in better places for Trondheim on the left of the screen.
And something has happened on the floor, ladies and gentlemen, in lane number 8. We have bottom of your screen right now, yellow t-shirts and one black top. That is CrossFit Prestanda. So we did talk about them a little bit earlier. They have absolutely hauled something.
And they were hanging back.
They were in the 3rd place position, but they did save the best for last. So if they can maintain good speed. Also, Trondheim have moved ahead of No Shortcuts. So currently in the lead, CrossFit Prestanda. 2nd place, Trondheim.
They just got a no rep though. Alex Alebro, a veteran games athlete in the black no-co shirt at the front of the order.
Well, Alexander Elebro, he's been to the games with a bunch of different teams from CrossFit Solid. He's been there with, well, you name it. You've got Hanna Karlsson, individual athlete, been to the games. Victor Longsved hasn't been to the games, but he's pretty much a staple at regionals and high-level competitions in Europe. And you've got Maria Langfors, also amazing athlete. And here they go, finishing.
Well, Prestanda is going to win the heat. They will not win the test. That belongs to Butcher's Lab Fleck from all the way back in Heat 2. And now the question becomes where all the other puzzle pieces fit. Trondheim looks like they will finish 2nd, but they've got some work to do here on the worm. And that is a good rep. Trondheim is across in 2nd place in the heat. No Shortcuts, again going touch and go. Staggered a little bit back in the center of your screen.
Yeah, they need to move the worm back in now. Bunch of different teams right here on the cusp, and there you go. Let's see, that was lane number 3. I think that was Janah. And here you go, that's Rotherham.
They're done in 4. No Shortcuts is done in 5. In lane 7, Walleye is finished. I mean, the cap was an issue in the first couple of heats. It has not been a factor at all here in Heat 4. I mean, there are some teams, Mads, that are still well behind, but they have 6 minutes with which to work.
And so now, just now, we have Oslo Navy Blue finishing up. I would love to know what's going on with, because that is not the team we know. And I hope that Nikolai is all right.
It is unofficial, a 12th place finish in event number 1, 7th in the heat in 21:48.
Another one of the teams we were kind of looking at is lane number 1, CrossFit Porti. They have not gotten the start that they were looking for. Still working right here in the middle of your screen.
And Matt, you can see the judge pointing to his shoulder, looking to make sure these are good, clean and jerks.
Yep.
And that extra deliberate pause on the jerk portion.
We still have, I think it's three reps left, so that's 2, yep.
So Porti with 1 more rep on the worm, and then there are 2 more teams that are still out on the floor working with a 28-minute cap. Porti is 8th in the heat. And that leaves us with 2 teams side by side in lanes 9 and 10. With 5 minutes still to go, shake those legs out for Nikolai. And this is the thing that we're going to have to watch over the course of the weekend. Lana Richter being a good teammate, checking on Nikolai, and Eivind trying to make sure the leg pain is gone.
That's what it's all about. If you want to be a team when you're doing good, you need to be a team when you're not doing good. Regardless of their effort and whether they're happy with it or not out there, this is exactly what good teams are made of. Good people who actually care for each other.
In the blue is Aorta. And the black is Butcher's Lab Krieger. That blue team is the home team. CrossFit Aorta is just a couple of miles from here in Berlin. Actually worked out there earlier in the week. Got a partner named Max. I said I was going to semifinals, and Max goes, "Oh, Anna makes butter." Anna Donauer is the leader of this team on the right side of your screen. Her nickname is Anna Makes Butter. It comes from an old fable of two frogs, Mads, that are in a bucket of cream. One of them gives up and drowns. The other one keeps churning. The butter turned into cream, or the cream rather turned into butter. The frog was able to climb out. So it's the mantra of when things get hard, keep churning. You can climb out of any situation, and Aorta climbs on over to the worm.
I love that. What Aorta needs to remember as well is exactly what we were talking about earlier as well. Don't stop going, because you're still comparing your result to the other heats. So, I mean, you may be last in your particular heat, but if it's a fast heat, you could still be ending up in exactly the place you want to be.
24:48 is the time right now. You've got about 40 seconds until the next time comes into factor. That would be for 22nd place. So you could still have nearly a top half finish if you mosey here.
And once again, remember, we've got 10 teams that are going to be moving on.
3 minutes left to go for Aorta to make some butter.
I love that, dude. That is, speaking of names, that is an awesome name. Suddenly just makes sense.
Final rep, and the German crowd letting the home team hear it. Donauer across with the chip timer in 25:30 unofficial. And now it comes down to Butcher's Lab Krieger, one of the 4 Butcher's Lab teams. They were seeded 10th coming out of quarterfinals, and they too will finish. The entire heat is done at about 25:50, and even though that's last place in the heat, it's still going to be good for 22nd place overall.
CrossFit Prestanda, you got Victor Långsved right there on the right side of your screen. Victor was on the team last year. Because of all kinds of formalities, he didn't get to go. He is back with a passion, and CrossFit Prestanda are being chased by No Shortcuts CrossFit, who thought that they were going to be flying under the radar. Not so much.
It's a broken radar if they were flying under it. Andre Houdet is the captain, although he was very quick to say, this is not my team, this is our team. He'll start things off on the bar muscle-ups.
Well, they have the workout cut out for him. 255 from the first heat by Senegalia is currently the most work that has been done within these 15 minutes. And I'm going to just put it out there. They're going to be hard-pressed for that. They cannot stand still at all. They really need to get after it.
Oh, interesting. Oslo Navy Blue just had a hiccup on the round of 5 thrusters. They were slow to finish, so a little bit off pace, but it's still 43 seconds in.
If you're going to have it now. Be flawless for the rest.
And right back to it. They're now in front. Ingrid Hodenmere with her back to us in the blue, and Nikolai Biladel, and he's the guy to watch. Yeah, Navy Blue's comfortably out in front early, because it seemed like Nikolai was the one who struggled. Even said with illness after test 1, it looked like his back was bothering him while holding the sandbag.
Well, I think maybe that's what it is. Depending on what illness means, it could also be just that he got lactic acid in his legs from not having been able to work for a week or two. We'll have to see, but they're sure fast. I mean, currently in the lead along with CrossFit Prestanda. Maria Långfors, Victor Långsved out there on the thrusters. And let's remember that Prestanda in the previous test, we didn't really look at them all that much because they were kind of cruising around 3rd, hanging out with CrossFit Walleye. But then, in the end, when it was time to go, they went.
Prestanda is in lane 8 as we take a look at Ingrid Hodenmere with Oslo Navy Blue. Just cruising through the ring missile-ups. And the fact that Ingrid Hodenmere is going so quickly through these, those are synchronized.
Yeah.
So think about, I mean, the communication and the level of work that's going through that. With Nikolai Biladel on the other side, Navy Blue is cruising here in test 2.
And look at what happens when you go that fast. It gets you the lead. Navy Blue out to the back to the lead again. Still Prestanda in 2nd. Hanna Karlsson, Alexander Elebro out there doing work right now, which is great.
2 more reps for Hodenmere.
God, they're fast.
Yeah. So Billedel and Hodenmere tap out. Dalringard and Richter check back in. No Shortcuts has also made the change. We're on the round of 15 thrusters and 7 muscle-ups.
3 minutes in. Talk about the fact that there's still 12 minutes of work to be done. Oslo Navy Blue just chucking away at it, extending their lead just a little bit.
Also see Butcher's Lab Krieger,
Yep.
bottom of your screen, who did not have a good test one. They were one of the last teams out there in this final heat.
They're making up for it now, though. Currently sitting in second.
I mean, it was still a top half finish for them, but it always looks worse when you're still out there at the end of your heat. They're in second with 2 more reps left here on this round of thrusters.
Oslo Navy Blue is just, it's very impressive the way that they're making their moves on the gymnastics and holding on to that move. Same pace as everybody else when it comes to the thrusters.
Butcher's Lab Krieger with Casper Dugard across from us, working through these muscle-ups.
Christina Erbik, Sabrina Rohauge. It's a good team. I think they didn't have the start to this competition that they were looking for, but they are definitely making up for that now.
Four and a half minutes in, synchronized thrusters for a round of 15 with Navy Blue on the left. Krieger, ironically, both of these teams follow Krieger programming, is the team on the right.
Oh, a little bit of a misunderstanding there for Butcher's Lab. They had 1 more rep to go. They thought they were done.
We'll push them just behind as we hit the 5-minute mark. Tell you what, we may see a best time across any semifinal happen right before our eyes here in this heat.
If they keep this pace up, then yep.
Mayhem AB back at the North America East semifinal currently holds the mark at 269. That is just shy of completing 5 full rounds, 10 rounds, because that's each pair going through each of those rounds. I'm not great at math, Mads, but that's like 90 seconds a round, and obviously it's different reps, but you're moving quickly at that juncture.
But so Krieger is still in the lead. Butcher's Lab Krieger still in second.
Strive E provides remote coaching software for your box and your personal training programs. With an all-in-one software solution, Strive E helps you save time, track your athletes, and engage your community. Visit strivee.app or scan that QR code on your screen to start your 14-day free trial today with Strive E. Avend Dalringard working with Leanna Richter. And they have ceded the lead to Butcher's Lab Krieger.
Yep. We're approaching that 8-minute mark, which seems to be magical. It is a pretty commanding lead. As we now have Aorta, we've got Walleye, we've got Pistanda, all coming back to the rig.
Casper Dugard and Thomas Stroyer are the 2 men for this team. They compete as a team of 2 a lot. There's a ton of experience there. Communication shouldn't be an issue. Casper and Martinez Solheim, who was the alternate on this team coming in, are also a couple. And actually, I believe we expected Martinez to compete. So this is a unit that has bonded together as one. They should flow pretty seamlessly out there on the competition floor.
This is interesting though, because the lead right now for the team from Butcher's Lab is the same as the lead was in the previous round for the team from Oslo Navy Blue.
Oh, look at that hang up there. Yeah, that was the right way to go. Dugard was just going to wait at the top of the thruster, but Father Time got the better of him. Billadel facing us, Hodenmere away from us.
And the cost of that is a new lead for who? Navy Blue.
Those shirts, by the way, say Europe has arrived on the back for Oslo Navy Blue. They are the first European team to ever finish on the podium at the Games. They've done it twice.
Well, it is absolutely true. Europe has. So now we've got in first, Navy Blue. In second, Butchers Lab Krieger. In third, we've got the team from Walleye.
Krieger on the right. The team that trains under the matriarch of Krieger on the left. Oslo Navy Blue. Look at the swooping swing for Leanna Richter on these muscle-ups. There's something very rhythmic and fluid to it.
There is. I mean, she's just using her levers really, really well. What I would have liked for her to do is just have her legs come a little bit further up. That would give her a bit more height so she didn't land as deep. That being said, she's done a bunch of muscle-ups already. And who am I? I'm the dude back here, can't do anything. But theoretically, if it were possible, that would save her some energy at the top of those rings.
Yeah, as I said that, she started to struggle toward the last couple of reps there. But Richter is out there now for 25 synchronized thrusters with Dahlringard. Such an interesting season for Oslo Navy Blue because they're really defined by their team mentality. But this past offseason, their approach, Mads, was really what can we each do to get better as individuals? They were kind of like the Avengers.
Yeah.
They went out and did their own thing. Richter went out and competed as an individual quite a bit, including at Dubai. But then they came back together. How can we reunite with hopefully individually stronger powers?
I think it's a smart thing to do. I think it is obvious. As a team athlete, if you're doing really well, you're always going to wonder, how would I do on my own? Go out and try it, and then come back again to where you thrive the best, which is on the team. But I think the lead is about to change again. We're back to Butchers Lab Krieger.
Yeah, that was a pretty costly no-rep. Dahlringard didn't like it. He got caught funny. He put the barbell down and was clearly frustrated. And Krieger is now back in front with 5 minutes left to go.
And what that also means is that second place is about to switch to Walleye.
Yeah, Walleye is now in second place. The force to be reckoned with themselves. They come into this semifinal ranked 4th out of quarterfinals. Mia Hesketh is their captain.
And Trondheim just passed Oslo Navy Blue as well,
who had a tremendous test 1.
I mean, we're kind of seeing the same thing as in test number 1.
Although Oslo wearing down there seemed more illness or injury related.
I didn't mean necessarily by the teams. I just meant that the early leaders are being caught up by other teams as we kind of get towards the back end of the test.
First place on the left with Krieger.
And now a no rep for Butchers Lab in lane number 10. Wow, these things are changing back and forth.
1 rep, Walleye is done.
Mia Hesketh, Joscha Wichtrup, cruising their way out to the barbells.
Back after pregnancy to compete as an individual last year. Didn't qualify for the Games, but had a phenomenal showing at the Lowlands.
And here's Trondheim also. Trondheim now in the lead because they went right out, ripped the barbells off the ground, and just got after it at the top of your screen.
And now Walleye and Navy Blue are almost synchronized with each other here. They've fallen off that rhythm. Second place, Trondheim on the left. Walleye on the right is in first. 3 minutes left to go in this AMRAP.
Hand Mia Hesketh a barbell and you're gonna watch, you're gonna see magic. All Joscha Wichtrup has to do is just follow that lead.
Games in 2019, Mia Hesketh qualified in 2020. And Walleye in front, rolling that barbell forward. They're on the round of 13 muscle-ups and 30 thrusters with still 2.5 minutes left to go.
And yeah, so what we may be looking at right now is another test record. And they're 20 seconds ahead. of the previous best time. So Walleye just need to hold on to this.
I mean, this is a smoke show of a performance by the Swedish super team.
I hope they're not thinking about that the test record right now. They need to keep the eye on the other teams because it is a tight lead that they have right now.
I would be stunned if they were thinking about it.
I've seen stranger things happen, but I'm just saying, not right now. So taking a bit of a breather, that's Sam Stewart on the rings, Antonia Kutelowski on the pull-up rig.
Phenomenal pulling strength for Stewart, who was 37th at the games individually back in 2021. Antonia across from him was on CrossFit Nordic the last couple of years. Mads, you know that fairly well.
Yep, I know fairly well. I do work out with him. So here we go. Oh, this is insane. So the lead that they've built now is actually, it is really, really impressive. So Walleye is out there, and their pair needs to get 23 out of the 30 thrusters to get the test win here. And they've still got 1 minute and 10 seconds to do it.
That's 5.
And still no other team, none of the the teams that were after them have even made it out there.
They take a break after 10 reps. Trondheim has now arrived, but the gap was enormous. Genas is out there as well.
14 rep lead right now. But they cannot stop too much. They cannot rest too much. They need to pick that bar up and go. It's another 30 seconds. There's no, all right, that's what I'm saying. There's no reason to rest, but they really shouldn't rest unless they really have to.
You can't get more time, but you can certainly get more effort here for the final 20 seconds, digging down deep. What will you do to put yourself in position to try to go to the CrossFit Games early on in this semifinal competition?
Are you willing to bite down hard?
Time with Walleye driving toward the finish.
We are underway for Team Test 3, Heat number 2. I'm Chase Singen with Mads Jacobson and Daniel Chaffee as we're getting set for our relay format of the weekend. There's a lot of ways to test teams. I think this especially is one of those to see how good are your individuals.
Absolutely, and we talked about it yesterday about because we were talking about Oslo Navy Blue and how they were the favorites coming into this and what made them the favorites, and we were talking about the fact that they're just a great team. Every individual contributes to the community and they kind of carry each other well. This is what we need to see from everybody, both their athletic prowess, but also not stressing anybody out in case you get in trouble on, for example, the pirouettes.
Starting off with that 400-meter run, it'll be female athlete 1, male athlete 1. They'll be doing a 400-meter run, 10 bench press, 15 pistols on each leg, and then 3 pirouettes. The second pair of athletes with the same run, 15 dumbbell bench, 10 pistols on each leg, and the 3 pirouettes. If you're looking at your screen from left to right, that is lane 1 to lane 20. In lane number 1, you have CrossFit Aorta. Lane 2, CrossFit Surbiton Motion. Lane 3, CrossFit Butcher's Lab Krieger. Lane 4, CrossFit Rotterdam. Lane 5, CrossFit Porti. Lane 6, CrossFit Nijmegen. Lane 7, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, who didn't have the best day yesterday, but they said one of their athletes was sick. We'll see how he bounces back today. In lane 8, CrossFit Genas. Lane 9, CrossFit Walleye Athlete. Lane 10, CrossFit Trondheim. Lane 11, CrossFit Prestonata. Lane 12, No Shortcuts CrossFit. Lane 13, CrossFit Butcher's Lab Fleck. Lane 14, CrossFit Oslo Blackout. Lane 15, CrossFit Oslo Naj. Lane 16, CrossFit Senegalia. Lane 17, CrossFit Bad Beast. Lane 18, Arus CrossFit Commanders. Lane 19, CrossFit Kasanen Tolasan. And in lane 20, CrossFit Islesbury.
So I know you're not supposed to have favorites, right? You're meant to be neutral, but I'm not.
No, you can have favorites.
I'm not a commentator, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, CrossFit, no shortcuts CrossFit, lane 12.
Yeah.
With André Houdet. he's a guy. It's like, I mean, he decided not to go individual because they had a baby this year.
Yep.
He wasn't getting the sleep that he think he needed to compete individual, and so it's his first time on teams. But he is the nicest person. I mean, and he's had a tough life, tough few years, and he's the genuinely nicest guy.
Yeah.
I really hope that these guys make it.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, you can choose different avenues in life depending on what's been thrown at you. He chose the right one, and I think he carries himself with such poise that it just inspires everybody around him. And you can tell in the team as well. I'm not saying that he is the figure, because as he said yesterday, we are a team. But if you're that kind of person, you will gravitate towards other people like that. And so they have 4 people with the same kind of dignity.
And in his coaching is very interesting. So if you've seen Andre move, and you have at the games, his movement is so pure.
Yes.
Right? You see him do muscle-ups. He'll do a set of 15 muscle-ups. Number 15 will look like number 1, you know. And he coaches that way. He's coaching his guys, say, okay, maybe you can lift heavier, but I want you to lift better now, and then we'll go heavier. And so I like his mentality. I like the way he approaches competition. And he affiliated his gym not too long ago. He's a really important part, an increasingly important part of the community in his country. So I wish him luck, lane number 12.
All right, as we're getting into the second athlete, let's go down to Brian Friend, who has something on CrossFit Rotterdam.
Yeah, thank you, Chase. Got a chance to talk with Sapphire Goddard. She's an athlete of their team that was unable to compete this weekend, and she told me that they were really happy with their performance yesterday. Anyone who is following the European team competition this year knows they came in as the 3 seed, but without her, they weren't sure how they would do. They're currently sitting in 12th place, and they're really looking forward to getting the men on the bench press here. Her partner, Dan Tai, is on the team. He boasts a 170-kilo bench, so when he gets his turn to go, look for him to rip through these dumbbells.
Thank you, Brian. 170-kilo bench?
That is insane. That's half the country.
We're going to wait for the handsome Chase England to look this way. There we go, look at that. There we go.
You're just joining us. This is team heat number 2 for test number 3. We've already had 1 heat down. The score to beat is right around 14 minutes. If you look at the bottom right corner of your screen, it's the world's most unofficial clock. It's back. We're still waiting for a sponsor for the world's most unofficial clock, but that is, we're right past the 5-minute mark.
So in case anybody out there from Rolex is listening, Chase will take a wristwatch and a digital watch.
We got to go the F1 route.
Oh, you're going that way. Okay, no problem.
Chase, I've got someone I'll introduce to you.
See, I don't know if I wanted to hear the answer to that suggestion. As long as it's not our Uber driver that we had over here this morning. Which we'll save that for a rainy day. Save that for a rainy day.
Mate, I thought you were rolling in it. I thought like you had sponsors coming out of your yin-yang.
He does, but he does turn a lot down.
Let's get serious, right? This cohort is way faster than the first year.
Yeah, way faster. Hey, we look at that. It's not necessarily, it doesn't come down to the, it's crazy to call a pistol a basic skill now, but 2023, we've been doing this for a long time. That's a skill anyone that steps onto this competition floor should have in spades.
Yeah.
But the pirouette is the complete separator for all these teams.
It is. And I mean, it's interesting, as Brian says, he's got a 170-kilo bench press. I am immediately in love and impressed, no doubt about it. But how do you handstand walk?
Look at Andre Houdet, lane 12.
Yeah.
He's going unbroken. Look at how clean that is, right?
Man.
It's like, I love my son. I want him to be like him, not like me. Be better than me. Be like Andre.
Yeah, be like Andre.
Daniel, listen to this, just for the fun of it. Andrew Houdet said coming into this, we're the underdogs. Nobody kind of knows who we are. We're just going to kind of fly under the radar. We're a great team. It's like, are you joking me? Everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows who the team is. And then you go out and do something like this. So in case nobody knew, everybody does now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for Andre, he opened his box at his home. And so these guys, they live with him.
Yep.
So his wife cooks them breakfast, lunch, dinner. So Nat, if you're listening to this, Natalie, Andre's wife, she looks after the team like from start to finish. I think the washing machine is going full pelt all the time.
And he's got a kid. It's like, wow.
Shout out to Andre Uday's wife.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Shout out.
Natalie Rios.
Teams working their second half of the test. Your top teams in the middle lanes have their second female athlete on the runner, so they'll be doing 400 meters on the run, 15 dumbbell bench with 60 pounds each. Is that 27 and a half kilos?
Yep. Oh, male athlete from Trondheim. I don't think I've seen anybody go through it that fast on the handstand walk. Wow.
He's feeling it now, though. That face. I'm just looking forward to the 1 minute left run. You know,
yes.
When they hear that, you have 1 minute left, and how they pick up the pace.
I'll tell you what, if you get that call and you're on the runner, you know that's not a good spot. we're not in a place we want to be in this heat.
But the good thing is you never failed on the pirouettes in that case. You would just be like, hey, I did a great job on the run, just thank me later.
Yeah, you want to be heading to the bench with the 1 minute to go. So it's like, I'm going to finish with a bench. At least I come up and I got a pump on, you know?
It's like somehow the shirt magically comes off after the 15 bench press reps.
It's like the 30 muscle ups for time. That's like, hey, Instagram moment for 30 seconds before this goes away.
Top middle teams in lanes 5 through 9. And it looks like Oslo, navy blue, white top, pink shorts in the background are your lead athlete or lead team.
Well, the interesting part about that is that Nikolai Biludal, who had a bit of a rough start yesterday, is through this. So he's doing better. And to be, in all honesty, the first test didn't go quite the way they wanted it to, but the second one they did very well. And now look at this. I mean, maybe he's bouncing back.
And you've only got 4 teams that haven't got the second athlete over the finish line yet.
Yeah.
So it's way faster than the first heat. You can see Denise Thomas, who's the head judge down there, and she is giving these athletes hell on the pistols.
Oh, yeah.
Not at the bottom, but at the finish at the top.
Yeah.
So she's just corrected the 2 girls in the middle there, saying stand all the way up, you know. Go, Denise. The standard is the standard, right? Nothing else.
Yeah.
Matt, you're talking about the tough day it was yesterday for Oslo, but especially that athlete. But test 1 was like if you're coming in under the weather, test 1 and test 2, absolutely brutal. This one, not too bad. It's short, it's intense. But then when we have later, the event we have later, it comes back. It comes back to see if he's feeling better today.
The thing is with these tests, it really is. So you're great over here. Let me test you way over here. There are all kinds of chances to bounce back, but there's also all kinds of chances to find out that maybe we should have been a little bit more diverse in our training.
Now, athlete 4, this is going to be really interesting. Looking at lanes 11 and 12, all first 3 athletes are over. 11, 12, and I believe lane, is it 15? So you've got 3 teams that are on the last athlete already. There's going to be a race to the finish, I reckon.
That's 14, sorry. But yeah.
14. Yep. We're going to get a really exciting finish on this one.
Looks like Oslo blackout.
And Walleye and Oslo Navy Blue, or I think it was, yeah. They were side by side. No, it was No Shortcuts and Walleye right next to each other as they were finishing up. So it's like it could very well become a sprint.
So those 2 guys on the runners, the hands are up, right? They're going to come off the runner pretty tight. It's going to be a race. Yeah, head down, feet up, right?
Yeah.
I nearly made a mistake.
I was going to say the way to get out of that is just like chin down and just swing for the fences. But
I collectively held my breath to see what you're going to finish with that sentence.
So no shortcuts in lane number 12, a little bit of a lead.
Lane 12 will be the center of your screen. That is No Shorts CrossFit, No Shortcuts CrossFit.
Yep.
He's got 1 rep lead on the bench. Oh, now they're equal.
But look at Alexander Elebro from Prestanda there. He's Games veteran. He's been around for a long time. Looks like bench press is his jam.
Yeah, well, he's picked up. It's lane 11 that are going to come off the bench first, I think.
Nope,
No, same
caught
time.
up again.
All down on the pirouettes. This is exciting. Oh, sorry, pistols and then pirouettes. Yeah, yeah.
10 on each leg. We've got a race brewing between 3 teams. And Madison, lane 7, Oslo navy blue in the white, left side of your screen. And in lanes 11 and 12, CrossFit Prestonada. In 13, Butcher's Lab Fleck. And it's gonna come down to a race on the pirouettes. Left side of your screen in white, right side of your screen in the navy blue in black. Those are your top 3 coming in, and it's gonna look like Oslo Blue is off to the races first.
And this is gonna go fast. He's not gonna come down. There's no way.
The time to beat is 14 minutes. He's gonna have to stay up if they wanna get that top time for the day.
So methodical. He's thinking about his hand placement on every step, right? That is smart. That is smart.
Oslo Navy Blue with a test win.
And that's exactly what they needed to start day off after day 1. Wasn't quite their day, but the race for second in lanes 11 and 12.
No, it's lane 14. Lane 14's come across the line.
Yes.
Oh, 14 just came around.
It's another Oslo team.
Oslo blackout.
Lane 11 just got no reps. He goes back to the last pirouette. Lane 12 has come through on the last pirouette. Can he make it? Oh my goodness.
Oh, he was, wow.
Wow.
Remember the,
Hand on the line?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And that was right around the 14-minute mark, so the time we had from heat 1 could potentially be a top 3 time here for the entire test.
It is definitely going to be a factor, yeah.
Now, when you look at that, you understand why this sport is such a good spectator sport. That just got me excited. I mean, I'm like, you can see it, you can hear it, right? You can see it and hear it, right?
My mom's a philosopher, and I showed her some of the events from the games last year. She just knows nothing, absolutely nothing about fitness in any way, shape, or form. She got excited. She's like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but they're racing. So, I mean, yeah.
But you know about a start line and a finish line, right?
That's exactly it.
And so, like, as a box owner, when you're doing workouts like this, how often do you actually set your athletes up with a start line and a finish line, or you just give them a space, right?
Yeah.
If you set them up with a start line and finish line, it takes on a whole new dimension, right? Yeah.
But it's coming down to tenths of seconds separating 4 or 5 places. Those little things that you should be practicing in your affiliate, getting ready for the live competition floor.
You know what I love to see right now? It is so CrossFit Pistanda and the no shortcuts CrossFit high-fiving and chest bumping each other. So they just had an absolute fist fight. And now it's like, we're all in. Fucking amazing. Let's start talking about what you just did right there. That was your handstand. How did you do that? I mean, at the end of the day, we're all friends, right?
Yeah, well, and they know that by having a good team next to you, you'll perform better.
Yes.
So you're getting into a safer place on the overall standing, right? Yeah. My favorite moment is coming now. Look at lane number 1. He's going hell for leather. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible 4. Look at that. Look at that sprint. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And that will do it for test number 3. And what a wild start to the second day of competition here in Berlin, Germany for the 2023 European Semifinal.
Odds-on favorite coming in lane 2, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, stumbled out of the gates yesterday. They come back with an event win today in event 3, trying to set themselves up for a really strong finish. Let's introduce the third member of our crew. Hey, Lauren Smith.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, completely correct. That event win this morning has put them back into the top 5, which is really important because 2 out of their 4 are like managing their injuries throughout the weekend. You have Avin, he has got a little bit of a hip injury, and then, of course, the back injury of Billadell as well. So this is all about damage limitation. Secure that ticket to the games. They're not going for a big, clean sweep of the weekend. Let's just get to Madison, shall we?
Avin Dahlreengard on the right side of your screen. Nikolai Billadell on the left side of your screen. We really saw a struggle with that sandbag and the breathing that it interrupted for him. Adrian, is it interesting for you, as Adrian Bosman joins us, the CrossFit Director of Competition, to see the impact of different events on athletes, particularly that sandbag, because I know you expected that to be an interesting obstacle?
Absolutely. That sandbag stole a few souls out there, and that was exactly what it was meant to do. You know, one thing that is really difficult for teams to train for is that static hold at a high heart rate. Not a lot of people do that, and so it can really catch you by surprise. And it can be really hard to recover from, and that's what we're looking for as part of the test.
And we did talk to a couple of the teams yesterday afterwards, and they were saying that obviously they tried this at home, but it's just, it took a little bit more intensity, just a bit more, and it became a completely different beast. Some had gone a little bit faster that they wanted to and up, and then they saw other teams they wanted to catch. And some were just out there trying to maintain the position, but they got onto that hole a little more tired than they have been. Just kind of goes to, like, they're riding that line pretty tightly.
Absolutely, and I think two things that you can't replicate in the gym no matter how hard you try are competition intensities and racing other teams beside you. It's really difficult not to get pulled into somebody else's game when you see them moving ahead of you a little bit, or if you feel like you're behind. So it takes a lot of discipline, especially with a team, to stick to your own game plan, and sometimes that can sink you if you're not careful.
It was CrossFit Trondheim, the first to make it to the dumbbell snatches here. One round is machine, dumbbell snatch, box jumps. You meet in the middle and switch. Once you start working after the switch, that is round 2. So it is not both sides working on each side of the floor once. It is just 5 total rounds as you make your way through test 4, now 1 minute and 22 seconds in. Adrian, how do you approach building out these tests and incorporating different elements? You talked about what the sandbag was intended to do, and I think you are probably most noted for ideating the Capital event last year at the CrossFit Games, but second would be ideating the sandbag event on Saturday night. So when you're sitting at home, when do new implements, new ideas, new strategies come to you? Are you sitting down saying, let's be creative, or are you eating breakfast and something pops into your mind, you go grab a pen real quick to draw something up?
It's absolutely both, and I like to think that I'm classic with a twist. I think that there's so much utility in just old school classic CrossFit combinations, and those are my favorite workouts to date. However, you got to push things forward, and especially at this level, these guys are all capable of things that are just a little bit beyond what they might train for, and so you have to give them just a little bit of spice sometimes when we get to the big show.
Interesting point you brought up, and you talk about it in the commercial for the test is the intensity is the test. You say sometimes you have to come up with something that maybe pushes the boundaries beyond what people think they're capable of. How do you draw that line in your mind of what that is and how far people can go?
That's an excellent question. I mean, a lot of it is just trying to stay familiar with the field. You know, you have to look at the global qualifiers, take a hard look at what they're capable of last season, anticipate that they're going to be training to push a little bit beyond that, and then offer that to them. So it's really just trying to stay familiar with as many athletes and as many teams as you can, and then making an informed choice based on that.
If you just had a look right now at Oslo Navy Blue, what I really like about this test is that it's great if you and your partner are fast, but if the other side of the house is not as fast, you're going to get to wait anyways. There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what I wanted out of this test, was a pushing of the pace. This is all engine, all gas, no brakes, and nowhere to hide. It really is just a big old engine test, and you want to see who can come out, keep the engine revving high, and just maintain that throughout the whole course of the test.
Taking a look at Oslo Navy Blue here, Mads, you've got Leona Richter and Nikolai Biladel. Obviously a lot of expectation on that team. Finished second at the games each of the last 2 years, and because of that, maybe the odds-on favorite coming into this season. Adrian, when you look at this, you have to be more so than a programmer, a fan of the sport and the methodology as well. How exciting is it for you just to see how people respond to your creation from a fan's vantage point?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it really does pay testament to how good these athletes are, and I think the broader community, how willing they are to engage with things that seem appealing to them. And so, to me, part of the challenge is obviously creating something that's worthy of what these athletes are capable of, but something that also holds true to what CrossFit is and encourages people to kind of engage with it and get out there and try it themselves.
And I think I told you earlier, before and after that, let's get into the test at hand. But I think I told you, one of the things that I really appreciate about both the games programming from last year, all the programming we've seen ever since, is that it kind of trickles down into the boxes. And we're seeing people come into the gym where it used to be, hey, I want a heavy snatcher, I want to muscle up. And now it's like, oh, I want to carry heavy things. I want to be able to do a handstand pirouette. That hasn't happened before. It has been a typical power output desire that we've had in a lot of people that come in. And I think we're starting to see a a change or an addition to that. And I really appreciate that, so thank you very much for that.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I do think that that's been something that's a staple of the game since its inception is, you know, a little twist here and there in the games really does trickle down. I remember the first, you know, time that chest-to-bar pull-ups were put into the games in 2008, and all of a sudden that was everything that everybody trained for a year was chest-to-bar everything. You know, there was no such thing as a regular pull-up anymore for at least that year.
Yeah.
So that's nothing new. The CrossFit Games, I do think, offers kind of a beacon for people to experiment with some things and try some things out that may be a little bit beyond what they're currently doing in their training.
There's the switch. Ingrid Hodenmeier making her way to the rower along with Nikolai Billedel for CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue. There are 3 Oslo teams in this heat. 6 Oslo teams at this semifinal. That's a record for CrossFit competition. Adrian, who's the best affiliate? No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't put you on the record for that. But what does it say to you that there are affiliates across the world now, be it Invictus, be it CrossFit Mayhem that sent 3 teams to the games last year, be it Oslo here, especially in Europe as the methodology grows, that this can happen, that you can have communities with this kind of fitness?
It still blows my mind. You know, I've been lucky enough to be involved with CrossFit for a very long time now, and back in the dark ages, we didn't have affiliates all over the globe, and it was really just a young thing. People didn't know about it. People thought it was weird. They still probably don't know about it as much as maybe we would like, and they still probably think it's weird, and that's fine. But the fact that you can walk into almost any corner of the globe these days and find people that are doing this, either in an affiliate or on their own, it's a pretty amazing thing, and it really is a global phenomenon in my experience. I don't know quite what to make of it, honestly. It still is a pretty astounding thing to me.
Yeah, the teams are really starting to rip into this, and guess right now, as they know, they are on the
Andre Houdet of No Shorts CrossFit has watched every team heat at the games, at regionals, and at semi-finals since 2018. A very analytical way of preparing for Berlin. I mean, Adrian, how much in terms of trends have we seen programming change during that time?
Oh, well, that's a tough question. I think that, honestly, I might not be the best equipped to answer that. I think that other people's perception might be more insightful because, you know, the competitors are really dialed in. And when Dave was programming, I think obviously, you know, he had a ton of pedigree there, and athletes had a long stretch to kind of get used to his rhythms. And so when I was put into that seat, I think no matter what I did, people were going to evaluate it as a bit of a departure just because I'm different by nature. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question best. I think that's best served for the athletes in the community.
What's your reaction to the preparation of Andre Houdet, having watched every event from every regional, semifinals, sanctional?
Oh, that is impressive. I mean, what a student of the game. That's good for him. I hope it pays off. But man, I am so impressed by this this Navy Blue team.
They're fine.
They have a sizable lead on the next teams.
How about 8 minutes and 10 seconds in? 9:41 is the time to beat. The record between any semifinal event is that CrossFit East Nashville proven 9:41.42 on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. They got to move, but it is out there for the taking if Navy Blue can finish strong over the final minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be close. They're coming down to those box jumps. I mean, they are flying through these snatches. It'll be exciting to see if they can take it.
Hand was in the air on the other side for Richter and Dalringard. Billedel and Hodenmeier here, also with the hand in the air on the lighter of the dumbbells. More reps, lighter weight, less reps, heavier weight. Similarly with the smaller box on this side and the taller box on the other side.
All right.
Again, that time to beat is 9:41.42 would get you the best time worldwide. 9:41.42.
Yeah, they're going to be right down to it. I think they're going to be very close to taking this top time worldwide.
Trying to catch who has the chip timer. It looks like it's on Avend on the far side of the screen.
And they're coming down to the final reps here. Both judges' hands are up on the boxes.
Well, we're done on one side. This should be a new worldwide record.
If they can
Maybe
get there.
You're going to have to sprint. Dalringard's got to go, and that time is going to go by. They are called back.
Oh, man.
Not only is it the best time in the world that goes away, it's also the test win at this semifinal. Still a tremendous performance, but valuable miscommunication. It is a heat win, not a test win. And no shortcuts, comes in behind them to finish second in the heat.
And after that, we've got another Butcher's Lab Fleck team cruising in. And now we've got a foot race between Oslo Blackout and Prestanda.
It was more of a crawl race on the Prestanda side.
And a little bit of a mistake there. I think their athlete thought that the white line on the field was the finish and not the stop mat. So she was a few steps short, which is going to cost them a second or two.
Still have some box jumps going to work. And Adrian, it's the 30-inch box for men and women, and I know you've pushed the boundaries a little bit on wall ball height, sometimes wall ball weight. Walk us through here on the final reps, going for that 30-inch box jump for both men and women.
Well, I think that constantly varied is a big-time tenet of CrossFit. Obviously, it's part of the definition. And I think that sometimes athletes get in their head that there's only one way to execute certain types of movements in competition, and that's not true. There's a whole range that can be expressed, and so they should be prepared for that.
That was not Fleck, that was Jana. That was CrossFit Jana in lane number 3. Fleck came in right afterwards. What's interesting as well is if you ask any of these athletes, where is the line prior to the event, they're going to go, no problem, they got it, I'll tell you. And then they're out there, suddenly heart rate is racing, and you know, you're tired, you've been looking around, and suddenly you think it's the white line. It's not.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what happens when you go full send. Is sometimes the brain isn't working quite as well as it was when you started.
Oslo Blackout, Oslo Navy Blue, 2 teams in the top 10 from the affiliate that sent 6 to this semifinal. Let's go down to Lauren Smith.
Cheers, Joel. And Mads, you've just mentioned him, but I had a great chat with Andre Houdet in the warm-up area earlier. He was like stretching with his strategy book by his side. He's such a detailed athlete. And he said, though, despite all of that, this one he's going to do by feel. He's going to let his individual members decide when they want to pick the bar up and when they're going to move on, and ideally around 30 seconds per athlete. Let's see how it plays out.
Lauren, thank you. Andre Houdet having a strategy book is no surprise. Butcher's Lab Fleck has a little strategy in mind as well. They are sitting on the cut line. They are the last team in with 2 tests to go.
They look pretty focused, though. I mean, they know what they're going to have to go out here and do. They know exactly what everybody else has done, so it's all about execution from here on out.
As we've talked about, they are a games team, performing in Madison last year under the flag of CrossFit 2150. Underway for the first minute of lifting. This barbell is 275 pounds. Mads, you said in the earlier heats, about 80–85% probably of the max for a lot of these athletes?
I would expect so, yes. On the left side of your screen, you're looking right now at No Shortcuts CrossFit. He has not let the bar go yet. And as I say that, he lets the bar go, and I jinxed it a little bit. But look at that, it's a high power clean, and he's getting a truckload of reps on the board.
It's Julian Kromoshvitz, who now evacuates and opens up the door for Andre Houdet. And he is smoking these power cleans in that black top, black bottoms on the left side of your screen.
Wow. I mean, this is, it's not often a loss for words, but Andre Houdet and what he's doing right now is impressive.
Houdet was 27th at the games last year as an individual. He said, listen, I'm not in this to finish 27th.
I don't think he's going to have to if he keeps on going the way he does right now.
He put this team together to crush the competition. They are your leaders. Ladies lifting for the first time.
Well, this is where it gets interesting. So the female side of the house still really, really strong. But I know in this field we have other athletes who are very, very, very strong. We've got Mia Hesketh, blue T-shirt, black pants in the left side, on the left side of your screen. Very comfortable with the barbell. I'd say probably the most comfortable with the barbell at that point. And she's cycling through them fast. She's handing over to Antonia right now, middle of your screen. And Antonia, she's great with the barbell as well. You can see she's catching it high, getting a great hip extension. So let's see if she can hold on to it, though.
Wale began the day in 6th place, plenty clear of a qualifying spot.
I need to stop jinxing athletes.
She's got 8 seconds left.
And she got that.
How about 28 reps for Hesketh? Fault Koloniski and
This
crew.
is insane.
Maximize your CrossFit performance with GoWOD's tailor-made mobility program. Try it now with a 14-day free trial today. The men started out, though, really setting the tone for no shortcuts. Andre Houdet with all the confidence in the world.
Well, he did really, really well. I mean, no shortcuts came out. The male athletes just crushed it. But after that, it was all walleye.
Oh, my. These placards have to be either wrong or no shortcuts just walked all over the gym like that, because their placard says 44 reps.
That has got to be wrong. That cannot be right.
I mean, they're in a lane next to Oslo Navy Blue with 32, and the number to beat was 46 for the whole of the whole test. Okay, they fixed it.
They're starting to fix it now. Go. Okay. No, he's not at 55. Okay.
Yeah, you know,
well,
we'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that in a second. Just so strong. Look at that.
This is Julian Kromoshvitz. He has been to the CrossFit Games on a team before. One of the big reasons that Andre Houdet recruited him.
Does Andre know that they put more weight on the bar?
Somebody put some weight on the bar. 295. Second and third place on the right side of your screen, CrossFit Walleye and CrossFit Portee. 5 seconds left. And then the ladies for round 2.
Oh, nice here by Sam Stewart. Catching that one, just going touch and go on the last one.
Both those reps count. 1 more minute to work for the ladies here at 2:15.
And Mia Hesketh here in the middle of your screen out there doing a great job. And here's the female side of the house of no shortcuts.
I gotta be honest with you, the placard was right. They're now at 56 reps. No shortcuts is hitting this thing out of every ballpark in the world.
That is insane, though. That is, wow.
73 is the test record. That was East Nashville proven with Tola Maracanyo. You would expect that.
Well, some very capable athletes out there on the floor. I think that's all you can say.
Just an incredible performance as the clock continues to tick. No shortcuts. We'll head into the third and final round at 56 reps.
And so let's have a look at the last lift right here. That looks good. There's still a bunch of power to go for the last round.
Only 2 teams across the semifinals have eclipsed the 60 mark. There was the underdogs last week at North America West, and then we mentioned Tim Paulson, Tola Maracanyo, Taylor Williamson, and Andrea Nisler, East Nashville proven at 73 out of North America East. So the gauntlet has been laid down. No shortcuts is at 51. The bad news for them is that also at 51 is the team in the lane next to them, Oslo Navy Blue.
Yep.
Avendal Ringard is in the black Born Primitive shirt, center of your screen.
Let's not sleep on Oslo Blue. I think that would probably be a mistake of us.
Still the first 2 lifters, Kromoshvitz on the right, Dal Ringard on the left, although he struggles a little bit more and will pass things off to Nikolai Biladel.
And Nikolai Biladel, strong athlete. Usually, I'd say barbell not a problem. I think he has recovered from the start that he had on day 1.
Was that back soreness or back stiffness that caught up with Biladel, led to the 12th place finish in the first event. And look at the communication. Here's Houdet. Dal Ringard had just put up a finger and said, wait, don't go again. And it pays off because Biladel comes through with another rep.
Yep. That's a team effort right there.
No shortcuts, though. The men lifted 4 more times. They've opened up a lead on Navy Blue as Leona Richter approaches in the pink top left of your screen. Here's Walleye into the mix as Falk Karlinski gives her way to Mia Hesketh.
Who power cleans it. Thank you very much. And Leona Richter right now, oh, she's fighting for that. Has got, exactly, that is her last one before handing over the barbell.
Now Ingrid Hodenmere lifting on the left. Mia Hesketh lifting on the right. Oslo Navy Blue and Walleye. You've got no shortcuts in the gray tops. Waiting for the right time to attempt another lift here as Hodenmere connects with 10 seconds to go.
Hodenmere is going to get another one as well.
And if she can stand it, that bar hits the ground.
Oh.
No shortcuts. Winds up with 65 reps.
Bjarnefar looked pretty happy. And so do no shortcuts. Sorry, not Bjarnefar. No shortcuts.
You have all the Norwegian teams in lanes 1 through 4.
Nice to know where we've got them.
Nice and Rotherham, 320 points. They are tied for 9th and 10th, and 11 points up on Butchers Lab Krieger. But no one, 11, 12, 13, really put a lot of pressure on in the last heat. So go out there, Mads, and focus on you here.
Absolutely, this is all for them to win. They've got everything in their hands right now. Go out there and deliver, because they weren't really necessarily pushed into position where they need to stress. So it's all about going out and delivering against the other teams in this heat.
15 synchronized burpees over the worm into 15 worm squats. Then everybody will head behind the rig, and they'll do their own work. Mads, it is rope climbs getting progressively easier, so to speak, air quotes, but higher reps. And the same thing with the handstand push-ups. Progressively, quote-unquote, easier movements, but higher reps. We're going to expose some skill.
Exactly. We're going to start with the seated ropeless, or seated rope climb. We're going to move on to the legless rope climb, and we're going to finish off with regular rope climbs. We're going to start with the nose toward the wall handstand push-ups. We're then going to move on to strict handstand push-ups and finish up with kipping handstand push-ups.
That's how it all plays out. Coming back to the worm for another 15 burpees and 15 squats in between each round. And those are the teams from the last heat. Watching, sweating, worrying.
A lot of emotions going on right now with all those teams.
Almost every worm advanced within about 5 seconds of one another. And here we go to the skill work. Those hands have to cross the red line at the top and then cross the red line at the bottom before you can drop back down to the ground.
We've seen in previous weekends and previous semifinals as well that just the descent, getting below that red line has been a little bit of a challenge. And you don't get overzealous.
You don't have to lower your bottom to the ground. You just have to get below the red line. Then you can put your feet down.
Exactly. And remember, we need to show control.
Their early lead, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue. No surprise.
Not at all. And I think they're going to earn a lot by not being challenged at all by the handstand, or the handstand push-ups right here, the nose against the wall. That has traditionally been a challenge for a lot of teams.
Oslo Navy Blue learned a lot about pressure. This weekend, coming in as the odds-on favorite and starting with a 12th place finish in Test 1. But you even go back, Mads, to last year at the CrossFit Games when Navy Blue wore the leader's jersey when they looked like they may have wounded Rich Froning and CrossFit Mayhem Freedom early on. When they wore the leader's jersey, they came back out for the next event and struggled. Mayhem won and never lost the rest of the weekend. And when we spoke to Leona Richter, she said, we really didn't approach things the right way after we put that leader's jersey on. We might have let it get to us. They have grown up. They have handled pressure well this weekend.
I love the way they handled the fact that they didn't get off to the start that they wanted, both as a team, making sure to take care of Nico so that he knew that everything was all right. Everybody's with you. We're all in this as a team. But also as a team towards the other competitors, going out there and just absolutely hammering it afterwards.
Oslo Navy Blue on the right of your screen. They're right next to Oslo Blackout in lane 3 on your left. Excuse me, in lane 4 on your left.
Blackout looking really, really good on those transitions over the worm.
Right of screen, no shortcuts. They're your overall leader. It is navy blue that picks up the worm for the squats first. And how about the technique? They dropped that thing right into the first squat.
Well, they did, and that's a great way of doing it, making sure that you get, well, both the worm, you don't have to lift it as far with your hands. The interesting thing is they did it at the same time as CrossFit Jana in lane number 8 as well.
Take a look at the recipe for success here in this final test, Mads. What is critical when you have this high skill type of movement?
First of all, know yourself. Do not get caught up in somebody else's game plan and trying to race them too early. Wait, save that part until the very end, and then you just need to be diligent on the worm. You do not have time for no reps on the burpees and the squats, and we've seen a lot of those in the earlier heats.
Absolute attack of this rope by both Ingrid Hodenmyr and Leanna Richter. These are legless rope climbs, not the seated legless rope climbs that we saw in round 1.
And I love to see the fast hands on the rope that way. Fast hands means that you don't get a lot of time on the tension on one side, which is exactly what you do not want.
Stella is hanging on the edge of her seat. She is so excited about this action. Marlene, are you happy?
And here's the switch from Oslo, navy blue. The same time as we get the switch from CrossFit Jana as well. So here we see the full floor, and it gives you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. So in the middle of your screen, you have CrossFit Pestanda, who came in second. This is not the start of this event that they wanted. At the same time, on the wall, a little bit above him, you've got Navy Blue, who are absolutely crushing this. What they need to remember is they've got CrossFit Jana in lane number 8, a little bit further down here, who are moving at the same pace as they are. So this is still open.
The overall leaderboard at the start of this event, 461 points for no shortcuts. Pestanda, 15 points back. Oslo Navy Blue, 21 points back. So Navy Blue could still, despite early struggles, win the whole darn thing this weekend. Although Ingrid Hodenmyr has run into a little bit of a hiccup on the handstand push-ups.
Well, CrossFit Oslo are doing a great job. It's not quite as fast as it has been before, but what's really interesting to see is that CrossFit or Navy Blue are not the first ones to the worm. Before them, you've got Oslo Blackout, and even earlier than that, you got CrossFit Jana in the bottom of your screen.
Jana in the full black with the red headbands at the bottom of the screen. They're right next to CrossFit Walleye with the purple pants.
So Jana's now in lane number 8, picking up the worm right there. Same technique as we saw from Oslo Blue, and it's a great technique. If you want to lift the worm as a team, do it like that. Squat down, lift it to your shoulders. Or clean it to your shoulders, actually.
Jana has flown under the radar this weekend. A 6th place, 5th place, 10th place, 5th place, and 15th place finish. That's good for 6th overall. They are not an under-the-radar team, though, Mads. One of the first European teams ever to finish atop the podium at the NOBULL CrossFit Games when they came in 3rd back in 2021. Some pieces, and there's a no rep, went their own individual ways last year. They've come back together as a team, looking to reclaim that glory as Oslo Navy Blue has taken the mantle of the best team in Europe over the last year.
And even further back, some of the guys on this team actually competed for CrossFit Lyon and did a great job at doing so. Moved about 20-minute drive up the road and started competing for another box. But yeah, a lot of experience and a lot of capacity on that team.
NOBULL will be putting up athlete jerseys Sunday evening of each semifinal with the athletes that have qualified for the NOBULL CrossFit Games. Jerseys available for pre-order, so go order yours now and support your favorite athletes this summer.
Jana are absolutely flying through their handstand push-ups. So Jana in lane number 8 are currently in the lead. Oslo Blackout currently in 2nd. And Navy Blue in 3rd.
Teams that are on their final round at the rig just have traditional rope climbs. Legs are allowed. followed by traditional kipping handstand push-ups. It's 3 rope climbs for each athlete, male and female. 20 handstand push-ups for each athlete, male and female.
So that's lane 3 on the left here. That is the blackout team. Just cruised by Oslo Navy Blue here a little bit earlier, at the same time as we're seeing the Janat team on the right side of your screen climb the rope.
Walleye and Janas in lanes 7 and 8. Lane 6 is Prestanda, fighting through those handstand push-ups.
Yeah, they have not gotten off to a start that they wanted or needed in this test. Oh, look at him, CrossFit Janat, making it to the worm.
9:25 and ticking. The best time at any semifinal is 10:19. They're not going to beat that, but Janat will have, in all likelihood, the time to beat in this competition. 11:40 is the number they're hunting. The second ever French team to the games, back in 2021.
And now we've got CrossFit Blackout also coming back onto the floor. You see in the middle on the top of your screen as well.
Not only is that a games team in Janat, it's also a team that has won tests at the CrossFit Games. They took Diane in North Park 2 years ago. And now they have just 15 worm squats remaining between them and a return ticket to Madison, Wisconsin. They're going to bring some new pieces. Elliot Janat is the other man, along with Lucas Husa on this roster. So he will become a Games rookie. But everything else about CrossFit Janat, they know the CrossFit Games.
And at the same time as they're doing that, there is an epic battle between two Oslo teams. Blackout just...
That is a test win for CrossFit Janat. Vive la France, they are going back to Madison. Oslo Blackout, Oslo Navy Blue side by side. We're guaranteed 2 Oslo teams at the CrossFit Games. Blackout finishes this test first. We will see Navy Blue there as well. Nikolai Bilade can already feel it. The question will be whether or not we see Oslo Nice in Madison. They are still out there competing here in Heat 4. Nice and Rotherham are the 2 teams on the bubble, tied with 320 points and 11 points ahead of Butchers Lab Krieger.
That's lane number 10 right there, Rotherham. And Rotherham had struggled a little bit early with some of the higher skilled gymnastics, but after that have been going really, really fast.
Trying to qualify with Alexander Dimitriou substituting in after an ACL injury to Sapphire Goddard. This would be an awesome accomplishment for Rotherham.
And Rotherham on the bottom of your screen are racing right now with the top of your screen, which is Oslo Nice.
Nice on the left side. They would be the 3rd team from CrossFit Oslo that would tie a record held by CrossFit Mayhem and matched this year by CrossFit Invictus. 3 teams to the games. Nice. That's the word to describe it. They're in. Rotherham is in. We'll have to wait to see whether they've done enough to be in the field as we approach the 13-minute mark on this 6th and final test.
That's Trondheim right there, putting the finishing touches on their worm work.
Group that didn't quite know how things were going to go for them, didn't have the best trainings coming into the semifinals, but then hit the first couple of tests out of the park and have been in the top 10 ever since. Vartherman Mo, the first woman, went to the games with Trondheim last year. You've got 3 other rookies on this Trondheim team. And CrossFit Trondheim has finished the work of Test 6.
And at the same time as everybody is hugging each other and enjoying this, you've got one team not quite done yet. It is the Prestanda team out here on the floor, and they struggle a little bit on the handstand push-ups. And you don't have to struggle all that much to end up far behind this team, or these teams.
Prestanda trying to avoid the cap that is 2 minutes away. They should still be in a pretty good position relating to the rest of the field, because Trondheim finished just ahead of them and is 13th in the test. And how about the entire arena erupting in a clap for Prestanda? Alex Alebro, their lead male, went to the games last year. Victor Langsved did not, though. He was disqualified from the Nordic team that wound up qualifying through a backfill. This team's mission this year was, yes, to make it to Madison, but it was to do so for Victor. And it looks like Prestanda has done enough.
Well, we're gonna have to see how it all pans out, but it does look like they've done enough, yes.
Jeunesse wins in 10:50.
We will start with your top 3. In third, with 519 points, CrossFit Walleye Athletes. In second, with 534 points, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue. And your top team, your first place finishers with 546 points, No Shortcuts CrossFit. And now, 4th through 10th place. In 4th, with 516 points, CrossFit Oslo Blackout. In 5th, with 492 points, CrossFit Jeunesse. In 6th, also with 492 points, CrossFit Prestanda. In 7th, with 435 points, CrossFit Porty. In 8th, with 420 points, CrossFit Trondheim. In 9th, with 399 points, CrossFit Oslo Nice. And your 10th and final team headed to Madison, Wisconsin for the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. CrossFit Rotherham, CrossFit Rotherham, CrossFit Oslo Nice, CrossFit Trondheim, CrossFit Porty, CrossFit Prestanda, CrossFit Jeunesse, CrossFit Oslo Blackout, CrossFit Walleye Athlete, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, and No Shortcuts CrossFit. We will see you in Madison, Wisconsin.